So Shlomo said that yesterday we discussed about Kampat and all those interesting all the topics about all the stories about the Kampat. You make a bracha, don't you make a bracha? We discussed last week we discussed Stamdi, SEUDAH, and SEUDAH. And this week we have a lot of things to discuss, which is mostly very, very negeya. Is a person eats fruit, comes Yantiv time. Two things very negeya. Yantiv time, a person eats fruit in the beginning. If someone eats raw fruit, the minhag I think is by dessert, if you're eating raw fruit, you make a bracha by a prayer, right? Let's say that for Pashtas. How about in the beginning of the SEUDAH? Yantiv, many times your wife gives you a melon or chveizvas, it's called ambrosia, whatever, akapanim. Are you going to make a bracha then? Or then I don't look at it that's a dessert. That's something which is it's a standard. It's come from the SEUDAH. And maybe you won't make a bracha. That's one thing that has to be discussed today. Another thing is many times shalashudis, now not so much in the summer, but in the winter for sure. You have a challah, a piece of challah, and you can't eat. It's right next to the SEUDAH, the Shabbos day SEUDAH. So maybe you have fruit, challah and fruit. That's your whole SEUDAH. Machman a bracha of the fruit or not? Right? Your whole SEUDAH. You don't have gefilte fish. You don't have fish. No, So it's good. So here we're talking about a Yid Tzaddik. He doesn't care what it tastes like. Now, a person today's day doesn't enjoy the fruit, the apple with a challah. No? Or maybe cooked apples, yeah, but kapat. But regular challah to eat with a piece of challah, regular challah to eat with a fresh apple? So what I would do is I would eat challah, and then I would eat a cantaloupe. Do you make a bracha on that cantaloupe or not? So those are two very important shilas for what we discussed, all the fruit shilas, but now this is important to know if this is going to be are you mechuyev to make a bracha? Also, we have to discuss what very important is this ice cream at the end of the SEUDAH, because we have to understand, everyone knows that Moshe held that you make a bracha, and Moshe held you don't make a bracha. We have to understand what's the pshat in that, and then hopefully we'll get to some mezainis. Then that people just name on that you don't make a bracha mezainis. It's not as simple as you think. I'll just tell you, Gather. I have a Talmud that used to go to Avram Elang to eat. Avram Elang is a tzal. Heard of him? Bechs Avram. Grapes with challah, it's great. Okay, Kenzan. It's a grape. Okay. So he would go there every many Shabbosim to eat, and they would bring out cake at the end of the SEUDAH. And Avram Elang said, "No, macha bracha." So what do you mean? Mezainis say for SEUDAH, you don't make a bracha. He says, "Okay, I'll make a bracha and I'll be might to you." And Avram Elang every week would make a bracha on cake, Sefer SEUDAH. So today we're ready to have a Sefer Malichas on Haggis of Avram Elang. I'm not saying he was a Paisik HaKabayash, but today they have some about everyone. Yeshua didn't put out something on it. What? Oh, they did? Oh, really? Okay, that's good. The kid said, so Akapanim, you see that it's not just like, it's just, flat out that you don't make a bracha on Mezainis. And Stamazai, if you're eating a super snack, that we all know that you definitely make a bracha on Mezainis, it's not like Mezainis is part of Sefer SEUDAH. So let's try to see how many topics we could fill today. So now, I think you saw the Torah that about eating payers with the pas. And it's not as simple as people think that they just take a bite of pas and then they take a bite of challah, the fruit and the fine. You might have to go ahead and eat the whole entire fruit together with challah. Every bite that you have, you eat together with challah. And there's a machlekes of Chaim Kanievsky and others. How much challah? Is a mashu challah enough? Or you have to eat more than that? The pater of Chaim Kanievsky said that the mashu challah, you don't even taste it. You can't say you have to eat. So it's not just like, okay, the first bite of kampat, let's say you make a bracha on kampat, right? So the first bite you make, you take a bite of challah, and then the last bite and you have the emtzah good. That's b'chalal not pashut. That's a mistake in halacha, but that's how we want to go through. The shayla is like this. The Rosh in Perek Vav Siman Chav Ches writes as follows. Adam she'oichel b'tchilas hasuda pas uperis. He's eating pas with peris. Yesh le'istapek im ochel man beloy pas and yivarach aleim and lav. The Rosh tells you he's mesupik that a person that eats in the beginning of the Suda pas with peris. If you ate beloy pas, do you make a bracha or not? The svaru shalay yivarach aleim zakta.
Page 32.
I have a svar not to make a bracha. Why?
32. Put up 32.
The day have a hashta machmas asuda. The ikis udasa samach alay. The ikis sudi being samach ala. V'alola yamin but l'daita it's like al adam. Hilkach kivan the ikis sudaim. Pass by Johnson afila eichel man b'lay pass. Zok the Rosh. Since that's the ikis suda, I would not. Oh, very good. Yeah. I would not go ahead and kivan the ikis sudaim. The last line of the yellow. The by Johnson afila eichel man b'lay pass. Therefore, you eat it, even though now you're eating without pas, still that patters you and you'll be okay, even though you're eating without pas, you don't make another bracha on these pairs. As I state in the Rosh, the Matcha goes to the Beis Yosef, brings it down. Then the Beis Yosef brings down from the Bnei Yaina that says, no, if I ate it with pas, it's potter. But if I eat the pairs beginning without pas, I always need to make a bracha, even though that's Yikah Suda. So we have Machlekes, Rosh, Beis Yosef, and the Shulchan Aruch brings down both days. Let's skip to the Shulchan Aruch, some Mekufay and Zion, Sif Gimel.
$2.18.
Im Kevea lift on SEUDAH ala Paris. You Kevea, you pass, you SEUDAH for Paris. Havalei Paris kidvar mabah machmas SEUDAH. The Paris are considered dvar mabah machmas SEUDAH. Vafilim eichel mea Paris betchila SEUDAH ase beloy pass. You're eating Paris in the beginning of the SEUDAH without pass. You do einim mevarach loy lefneim v'loy la'achreim. V'yesh chalkim v'lachein toiv sheyoichal betchila mea Paris and pass. The best eight, we have machlekes. What should you do? Toiv sheyoichal betchila mea Paris and pass. Eat the beginning with pass. V'oz afilim achkach yoichal mea beloy pass. Einam te'unim bracha klal. Once I eat the beginning with pass, zok to Shulchan Aruch that you don't have to go ahead and eat the rest with pass. Since it's a suffix, normally, if you would have to make a bracha and you want to avoid yourself from a bracha, you should eat the whole entire payers with pass. Here it's a suffix, we have machlekes, therefore he tells us the beginning should be eaten payers with pass, and then you're okay without it. I'm sorry?
You make a motzi, you take a bite of bread, and then you eat pears. That's not enough.
That's not enough.
You have to
Make a sandwich. Put let's go, Zach. You have a little slice of apple along with the challah. You eat it together, and then you're fine for the rest of the soup. Now that's if your ikki kviya suda is the pears. Now let's see this.
In other words, so you ordered a fruit salad for a meal. You went to a restaurant.
Yeah.
You washed, and then you ordered a fruit salad for the.
So now let's go to our shaila. I asked you what's the halacha with shalashudis. Shalashudis, what you're doing is you're eating many times. You're not eating a filter fish, and even if you are eating a filter fish, what's your main suda by shalashudis? Most of us, you're above 40. You eat by then. You're not interested in eating that much. You're nashed already. Shabbos parties with the einiklach over there, and now you come to shalashudis. Not so hungry, so you have bread. And even if you have a little gefilte fish, let's go without that, not to make it confusing. Bread, and then you have cantaloupe. My ikkas suda is cantaloupe. How could I tell you you're to make a bracha on the cantaloupe if that's make a suda? So what do we have? We have the Shulchan Aruch that I just read you. Shulchan Aruch tells you that if you eat in the suda just with pas and peris, the Shulchan Aruch gives you 2 days. Zok the Shulchan Aruch. So what's the best eitzah? Eat the beginning with pas. Very clear. That's what he tells you to do. So if you're eating it without pas b'chlal, then you have to go ahead and make a bracha. If you're eating it at the beginning with pas, we tell you that you're okay. But l'maisa, if let's say I'm not going to eat it with pas, what's the halacha? Should I make a bracha on the pears or not? Again, let's read the Mechaber. The Mechaber writes, "Afilim oichel me'aperes b'tchilas SEUDAH v'loy pas." The second day is v'yesh chalkim, that if you're eating the bracha, you're eating it not with pas, you would make a bracha. We have machlokes. Zok the mechaber, what's the best eitzah? To eat it with pas. Let's say I didn't eat it with pas. I didn't notice halacha. Should I make a bracha on the payers or not? I have machlokes in the mechaber. When you have machlokes, safek brachas local. Not only that, the mal we go stam v'achkach yesh. The first day is stam, the second day is yesh chalkim. What do we go with? We always pass like stam. So therefore, make a then you don't make a bracha. Because that's make a SEUDAH, the mela won't make a bracha. Oh. Oh, that's all right. Zok Rabbi Reese, no, there's no tzad to say if you're not going to eat anything without pasta, you don't make a bracha. Both days in the Shulchan Aruch hold that you're eating it with pasta. The first, what the Shulchan Aruch was just discussing, do I have to eat the beginning of it with pasta? Or at the end, I'm going to eat with pasta. The second day, let's read over the Shulchan Aruch. In Kaveya liftan SEUDAH ala peiros. You be in Kaveya to eat peiros. Havalei peiros kedvom abah machmas SEUDAH, and you won't make a bracha. The beginning of the SEUDAH, eating peiros without pas. But at the end of it, I'm eating with pas. Eventually, you're going to eat this fruit with pas. The beginning of it is done without pas.
Sandwich is afterwards?
Sandwich is afterwards. Very nice deal, Rabbi. Okay, it happens. Yeah, but kitzah. So l'chaya, everybody say, our case shalashudis, where you're not eating with pas b'chlal, everyone holds that you should make a bracha. Rather you wash.
Even though that's all you're eating.
Even though that's all you're eating. And that's what Rabbi Felders al Gesund Zayin told me more than once. He holds you have to make a bracha, even if that's the only thing you're eating. Because I didn't go into length with him. I'm telling you, both days in Shulchan Aruch agree with this. Sure. So if you're eating shalashudis, pas, you're done with the pas. Now you're eating cantaloupe, you're eating an apple, whatever you want to eat, macha bracha. Are you okay with that, Psak? I read you a Shulchan Aruch. Don't mistake that the Shulchan Aruch is our case. Shulchan Aruch is not this case. So very good. So where do you have anything? Shulchan Aruch is only talking about the eating.
The Mishabur in Tesvav seems to disagree, no?
One second. So now, what? He says, the beginning you didn't eat, but the end you did eat. He's saying, even though the beginning you didn't eat, what's he saying in the beginning? The whole time you didn't eat. Is mashma. You eat the cantaloupe, and then the last bite of cantaloupe you ate with pas. That's what he's talking about. The beginning you didn't eat with pas, but at the end of the thing I ate with pas. So therefore, I would tell you that in the Shulchan Aruch is mashma that you would make a bracha on this cantaloupe. It might be nice to you. So let's see a little bit weiter. The din of Hanhagis to the Chazon Ish says that once the Chazon Ish ate bananas in the middle of a SEUDAH without any pas, and he didn't make a bracha peyadama. And he said, that's by me the Ikka SEUDAH.
Shalashudis though.
No,
Regular SEUDAH.
Regular SEUDAH, a mitten vach, he ate a banana. And he didn't make a bracha. I asked him, what's the pshat? So he comes the Chazon Ish and tells you, by me that's the Ikka SEUDAH. Keeps me full, I like it. The Ikka SEUDAH, fine, I'm not making a bracha. How could this be? We just said the Shulchan Aruch says, any fruit that you eat, if you're not going to eat with pas at all, Shulchan Aruch never said that you yaitza. The only time the Shulchan Aruch said yaitza with amaitzi is only because eventually I'm eating with something with pas. If I'm not eating with pas at all, there's no heta.
Even if it's the main course.
The Shulchan Aruch says the idea. This pas is the fruit is the Ikka SEUDAH. Shulchan Aruch said very clear that I'm eating the pas for the Ikka.
Peveya.
Peveya liftan SEUDAH ala peiros. The only reason why I'm not making a bracha on the peiros is like Rabbi Reese's diak. It's only because eventually I'm going to eat something of this with pas. But if I don't eat anything with it with pas, no machlekes b'chal. So what's the pshat in this Chazon Ish? And I would like to gesture that I think the minhag ha'olam is not to make a bracha shal shudas in this case. Is that true?
Maybe we're just doing the wrong thing.
Huh?
Maybe we're doing the wrong thing.
It could be. I'm just saying, I don't think always you could say Eilam Gailam. No? What do you hold, Rebbe Trapper?
Does everybody make a bracha?
Right? I'm the Minig Eilam, I'm saying. I don't think a lot of people do. I never did when I was a kid. I never remember making it. So sure, this is part of it. That's also, even if I had gefilte fish, it wasn't this 3-course meal. So that was part of it. Not that I knew about the Chazanish, not that I knew about the Mishmah and the Shechanach, but I thought that was Vadav Pasha. So how do we go ahead and explain this? We have a Shechanach that L'chaim Avu and not like that. Well, hold your breath. Don't worry, we'll get there. You make a bracha? Rabbi Black? You don't make a bracha, right? You're not embarrassed to say. Huh? No, it could be. So now let's try to understand the Chazanish. So many times we have to schlep you to a different halacha to see if there's a shaykhis, and then we'll be able to understand if this could go ahead and give us an eitzah for that. The Shechanach, we saw this earlier, Lazman, in Siman Reish Ches Sif Gimel. Shechanach says as follows: Kishenaisnin kemach l'seich shkedim. They put flour into shkedim.
The site?
Siman Reish Ches Sif Gimel.
Okay. 272.
And I have to show you Meir Digadik in the Mishnah Berurah. One word in the Mishnah Berurah that's going to answer this question, and I think the Minig Eilam is right. The Shechanach says like this: Reish Ches Siv Gimel. It says, "Kishenaisnin kemach l'seich shkedim." You're putting flour into shkedim. You know what shkedim is?
Mandel.
Almonds. Sha'isen l'chayla. Chayla needs it. Now we always know, we learned this many times. Kol sheyesh b'ay. If there's a little bit flour, you make a mezainis, no matter what. Okay? Okay, obviously, yeah. Im oisim kein kadesh yised halei. If you're doing it that you should have kaiches, yised halei. Nevarach b'ay mein mezainis. But ve'im l'davik ba'alma, if you're just doing to be medabek, to put it together, ain't a mevarach b'ay mein mezainis. And we're not going through this halacha because we learned this plenty already. But this is a halacha in kol sheyesh b'ay. The toiv la'achmer l'gamay b'sei chasuda la'achar b'chasamaitzi upatem imena. Zakter ha'etza. What should you do? The best eitzah is, again, we're talking about you have a nut that you're putting in for a chayla to give him kayach along with kemach. If the kemach is there to make him full, so then you make him by mizan. If it's just the davik, you don't make him by mizan. So what should you do? Zakta toiv lahachme ulegamay b'sei chasuda la'achar b'chasamaitzi upatem imena. You eat a tay chasuda, and once you eat a tay chasuda, you don't make a bracha. In fact, the kasha zakta mishabur sif cotton yud gimel. What helps you if you eat a tay chasuda? We know, Paris, you have to make a bracha, tay chasuda. If you eat nuts tay chasuda, you have to make a bracha. So in fact, the Mishabura, pash the kasha. And Kireiga, by the way, asked this kasha on Taisus, if you recall, on Lamed Zayin on the base. But not like upon him. Right there. The imu yakla davikim came bottle agabe ashkedim v'ayetzach levarech al pi b'sei chasuda. Here, Mishabura's kasha, some Kireiga's kasha. Effective Kireiga, how could it be? What am I doing? I'm eating this shkedim. Chasuda, it saves you. No, it doesn't. It's a nut. A nut you make a buyer creates chasuda. So who cares if it's on the side that kemach is l'dabe? You must pick what the kemach is for. What helps you to eat to make a bracha to eat a chasuda? It doesn't help you. And for the Mishabur, v'nir liyashe. The kivan shu chaylev etzarech la'ashkedim. This person's a chaylev and he needs the nuts. The ikik kviyasud is on it. The einay mevarech aleya. Ukadlael besimin kuf ayin zayin sif gimel ayin sham. What just happened there? He answered like this: Shkedim for a chayla, that's the ikasud. Since shkedim for a chayla and ikasud, you don't make a bracha on it. I don't care if it's a shkedim and it's an eitz, and you're supposed to make an eitz techasuda, you don't make a bracha on something that's ikasuda. And so he goes and tells us too, Kufa and Zion Sif Gimel. When the Mishnah writes Ayin Shami, like in Kveg, you have to look it up. It's not just what's that? That's our sif that we just learned. Whoa, what's going on? I have a tzalik chavetz chaim. What are you mixing us up over here? Simikuf Ayin Zayin Sif Gimel, there was a machlokes, and that we told you over there that if you're not eating with pas at all, we made a mara digadik. You zicha make a bracha. Here the Mishnah Berurah is telling to shkeidim and telling you don't make a bracha. Kuf Ayin Zayin Sif Gimel. The Torah says. Mishnah Berurah is telling you go look good over there. Vashtei daten. Over there it says that you're eating pas and you're also eating pears. What we just saw. This Sif Gimel that we saw. When do I need to eat something with pas in order not to make a bracha? That's only if it's not muchach itself for what the tachlis of this fruit is. I'm not clear what the tachlis of this fruit is. So maybe I need to go ahead and maybe eat pas in the beginning with it, or eat pas in the end with it. But when I see clearly this chayla needs shkedim, that's his ikim mezainis, not the pas. So what shaykh is the why would the pas is there to start my SEUDAH? But this is the ikker SEUDAH. It's clear like day that a chayla needs shkedim. So then it's pashut that you're not going to make a bracha, because when something is the SEUDAH, that's not what this Shulchan Aruch was talking about. Shulchan Aruch was talking about in Kavel, liftan SEUDAH se ala peiris. The lefes of the SEUDAH is of the peiris. But if the SEUDAH itself is the peiris, pasha, you don't make a bracha. And if he's telling you to, so again, in the Mishnah Berurah over there in Reish Chetz is telling you when a chayla eats shkedim, he does not make a bracha. Without the pas, it doesn't make any t'noim. You need to eat the shkedim with the pas. You eat nuts, a chayla does not make a bracha tech SEUDAH. A healthy person makes a bracha. A chayla doesn't make a bracha. Why? He tells you to simik kuf ayin zayin sif gimel. What does it say in kuf ayin zayin sif gimel? Eat it with the pas. Well, how did he do that? How did Mishnah Berurah tell that too? The Chavetz Chaim is telling you, learn up the sif good and realize that this sif is only talking about where it's not muchach in the peiros, that it's the ikker SEUDAH. But when it's muchach in the peiros, there's the ikker SEUDAH, don't make a bracha on it. Come back to Shalosh Shudas. Shalosh Shudas is muchach that this is a short SEUDAH. I'm muchach that the only thing I'm doing in the SEUDAH is peiros. I really want to eat fruit. I know I have to wash. There's a tzad that you ate some fruit. I want to be machmir. I want to wash. You know what state? State that kalamekayim.
SEUDAH Gimel. Gimel SEUDAH.
Gimel SEUDAH b'Shabbos.
Kilchasa, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, what does it say?
Nitzal mi chagay gamagay.
Gay Gamagay. Yeah, we're up to Gay Gamagay, you know?
Whatever it is, it's not good.
Right? Gay Gamagay is not good. You know the Chavetz Chaim said. Okay, we didn't mean to get into this, but we're talking about through the Shabbos, Shalosh Shudas. Chavetz Chaim said that he told the people around him after the First World Milchama, he said in 25 years, there's going to be something that's going to make the First World look like a joke. Don't say Milchama. It's in Lev Eliyah. It's not. It's in Lev Eliyah. He said he met Rabbi Chanan, and Rabbi Chanan told him this. And then he said, then it's going to be something that's going to be Gagamagag, that you're not going to be, it's going to be, make the first two look like a Litzanis, Rabbi Litzanis.
10 minutes.
Yeah. 9 minutes, right. So we got to prepare ourselves for this. You want to get saved? Eat Shalosh Shudas.
Very simple.
Kalamekayim Gimel SEUDAH b'Shabbos, Nitzel, Mulchem is Gagamagag. I want to add a word to you. What does it mean Mekayim? Kala Eichel.
You listen to the Rav's drasha.
You know this?
You listen to the Rav's drasha.
Oh, no, but it's all three. Kalamekayim Gimel SEUDAH b'Shabbos. Let's call them Mekayim. What?
Yeah, good dig.
I think that's the dig, because everyone eats 3 SEUDAHs. The Gemara is telling you something more than just eating 3 SEUDAHs. So you can touch it however you want. I have 2 malachim at a touch it. You know, but there's one halach that I wouldn't. You have to know yourself. That means mekayim means that you make a thing out of it. You ever come to a SEUDAH and there's plastic forks that you come out, your fish breaks when you put into it, and then you ask for a cup and the plastic cup that falls like this when you that's not mekayim gimel SEUDAHs. That's eating. That's your tachlis is over there, the food, obviously, because the paper plates, I don't know if you know those paper plates that you put the two of them together. For Chrein, you need 7 of them, because if not, it's going to go onto the tablecloth. Yeah. They still, Mr. Besser Mensch, yeah, they still have this, but right? You know that type? That's the cantaloupe and the eating
That's
table
all
along
shul,
with it.
but those are all shul shalashudis. That's what the Olam does.
Zog the Vashmein Kala Mekayim. Kala Mekayim means you mechabed it, you mekayim it, you make your SEUDAH out of it.
And China.
Now that's what I said. I said this is very personal because you can tell this to your wife. And okay, come Vashti, work a little harder. You worked hard till now. I want to double. When you do that, get her a dishwasher also. And milk go on. But the shalshudis. So if you're ready to wash the dishes and everything else, fine. But you know what you should do? Chach, spend a few more dollars. It's all Shabbos enim and a minyan, and get yourself some choshev plastic instead of getting something like that. Realize, the Gemara just says more than just Gemara. Right? The Gemara Shabbos Kavit Ches.
Yeah.
It's more than just Gemara. There's a lot of things in this Mekayim Gimel Sudis. And I think you're asking to this pshat. I think it's Pashas Ma'adeh, I think it's Pashas. It's not just the Achila. It's the way you Mekayim it. Your table is set nicely. Yeah. Nothing like, sometimes you can even the tablecloth is schmutzig. You can't, you walk in there, I can't, you walk in by Abdullah, you can't believe you have it in this table. No? You know what I mean? That's not why. Because you leave the plates on and the dessert comes on with all the dirty plates and everything, right? And the ice cream cones come on and everything's still there with the tub and everything. It looks like the way Pashlochet, right? So if someone's mekayim it and he shows the cheshivas of it, there's nitzel megayga magag. Imagine this hatzala. I gave you $1 million now. No? Or say a different pshat. Everyone can say that pshat. It's not. I thought maybe that it means that you mekayim it. It's you limit atayr in it. Maybe you mekayim. You bring it up. You uplift it. Not just by stand talking politics and and whatnot. You come in with it atayr every single SEUDAH, even shalosh shudas, that it's quick. You don't say you know what you're supposed to say by when you have shlosh yashav eminem shlosh yashav achla eminem devatayr, then it's a SEUDAH. It's messes. What are you supposed to say? What are people? Okay, ma'am chanim chayva. You know that. You know that joke. Not a joke. I'm saying. What do you say? You say it's va'alocha. Which va'alocha ma'am chanim chayva. Right? You never heard this before. If you make it more than that, then you make it as you say it va'tayr by a SEUDAH. You make your Shabbos. Even with your Einik, they're not interested in hearing your kids. They're not interested with all the mice. So you say over a nice chakava small va'tayr. I think that's also a way of being mekayim. Okay, this is no shayach to what we're discussing, but getting back to our shal shudas. So we're telling you. So therefore, when our shal shudas by us today is muchach, that the payers are there for the ikasuda. It's not just you gather being also eating payers. That's the ikasuda. I'm eating challah with cantaloupe. That's my whole SEUDAH. So I think that goes into Reish Chesed Gimel. And the same way the Mishnah Berurah tells you Reish Chesed Gimel, by Shkedim it's Pashut, that he's a chayla, and he doesn't make a bracha on the Shkedim because that is the SEUDAH. So too, cantaloupe shal shudas is your SEUDAH. Is that the maskim to this? We're coming halacha l'mayis, so we're paskening for the next 230 years, this halacha. Yeah? Do you know there's an Nesivus, we start talking about this. Do you know there's an Nesivus brings from a Ramban that 200 years before Mashiach comes in B'tchias HaMesim, 200 years before the Elef HaShlishi, you have 13 years left for B'tchias HaMesim. You want to see your father? Which one 13 years? Okay, B'kitzah.
Well, what's that cheshbon? 13 years?
13 years before the last 200 years.
Can't make a skill here. Because maybe he's
Okay. Yeah.
because it's a chayla,
Yeah.
and that's similar to Shkedim is a chayla.
Oh, back to the learning, yeah.
Like by the first question, and not be a shkotim.
Again, we're telling you, you could do that. You can do that. I don't believe when the Mishnah brings it, he's saying we pass like the second because he says the chayin type sheyecha. So again, therefore we're coming out pretty clear that today, since when someone eats shal shudas, that is his SEUDAH. It's not the derech is it's a normal thing just to eat that for your SEUDAH. So memela you won't make a bracha. Now, I want to bring
why is it different than a fruit cup at the beginning?
We'll get to the beginning. I want to bring a little riot to this. Mara, many Rishonim say, Mara, you don't make a bracha when it's coming to SEUDAH. The shaila is not ba machmas SEUDAH. Zagen the Rishonim, because since you have mechuyev to eat it, this is what Leil said is mechayev. We're pater with the kappa. Fine, but if you wouldn't pater, let's say, So many Rishonim say you don't make a bracha on it. You won't make Adam on it. What's the pshat? Because why wouldn't you make a bracha? Because since that's a chiyuv in this SEUDAH, so it's obligated to this SEUDAH, so man, you don't make a bracha. So too that means I'm bringing you rayas that this halacha, even though it says to eat it with pas, this halacha is not a halacha psuka that every time that is the SEUDAH. The pshat is over there we're talking about that you have other things in the SEUDAH, even if you don't have other things. My SEUDAH over there is the pas. And I'm punkt eating fruit also. But by me, shal shudas, where I would rather not have pas. I'm eating pas because I want to be yaitza. This kolom mekayim shal shudas b'Shabbos. I'm pushing it down my throat. I'm not really interested in pas now. I'm a healthy person. I want to eat fruit. So I'm eating pas. What's my SEUDAH? My SEUDAH by me was fruit and vegetables. Therefore, we are coming out here that is SEUDAH. We hold you don't make a bracha. Now I'm not so worried to say this. We have a Chazon Ish. Chazon Ish ate bananas. He didn't make a bracha, and he ate many other things in that SEUDAH. But since he ate bananas and he said that this by him is the SEUDAH, so matter we could schlep that to our shalashudas. That and now the only thing I'll be masupik is if you had gefilte fish, and then you had salads, and then you had cantaloupe. Yes, Lord. But if you just had cantaloupe, by me it's bar that the Chazon Ish will tell you that you don't make a bracha. Nichem daiti, no, that I think developed is not really knowing to make a bracha on fruits and vegetables shal shudas because that is the SEUDAH. Okay.
Would make a difference really between the summer and the winter.
Right.
Because in the summer, it's a meal. In the summer, the shal shudas is much more expansive.
You normally have much more to your SEUDAH, so that's a dessert. That's a regular dessert. So dessert, fresh fruit, fresh pears, you make a bracha. But in the winter, where you're full, and this is your whole SEUDAH, there I hold that that you won't make a bracha. Okay. Now, the shaila is like this. What's very important to know is that's one shaila we said we're going to discuss. Another shaila is the beginning of the SEUDAH, Yantif. Many people are eating fruit in the beginning of the SEUDAH. Now that's a double-fold shaila because let's say we're going to tell you don't make a bracha. So your wife makes a fruit cup, yeah? Let's say you're going to someone, fruit cup in the beginning of the SEUDAH. You're going to come out. Yeah, I lost the shaila, but if two people are eating shal shudas, one could be making a bracha on fruit, and one could you can put that as a riddle. Yeah, how could you have one make a bracha, one not? If this guy's eating it for the end of the SEUDAH, and this guy's eating it for that's his whole SEUDAH, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll get to that. One second. So now the shaila is like this. Let's say we're going to come out in the beginning of the SEUDAH. You don't have to make a bracha. So that same fruit cup I ate in the beginning, and then my wife gave it to me at the end also. She chipped me off this time. She made a dessert out of it, and she gave it to me in the beginning. It's Bunim, so right? Your wife made fruit cup in Yantif. So the beginning of the SEUDAH, eating that fruit cup, and the end of the SEUDAH, you're also eating the fruit cup. So the beginning of the SEUDAH, I'm not going to make a bracha. At the end of the SEUDAH, I'm going to make a bracha. Does that sound a little funny? Okay, nothing wrong with funny things. Maybe, yeah. So let's see. Reb Shlomo Zalman says that when you go ahead, brought down to the same bracha, he says, when you go ahead and eat fresh spice in the beginning of the SEUDAH, this fruit, melons, he says that you make a bracha. He says it's not enough that you can't call it that it's dvar mabah machmas SEUDAH, it's a fruit, and therefore you make a bracha. Shevet HaLevi says also, they all say people don't need what does this mean? The haste like this. Amal, much more than today, people ate with a cheshbon. They first ate fruit to open their stomach. Did you ever have a problem starting? Okay, maybe the older you get, maybe it's a little harder, but when you were 30, 40, 50, you ever had a problem to, like when your wife, let's say, served the chicken in the beginning instead of the end? You had a problem, I need to open my stomach first? You ever come home for supper and say, Shulix, chicken cannot be eaten in the beginning, not chicken and rice, get me a fruit to give me a taivas achila. Baruch Hashem, gesund to Yidden, we could start right with the meats. No? You ever walk into the chassan and hold them by the main course, you say, Shulix, bring out the first and second. Maybe you'll do that for other reasons, but not because I need a cheshbon, the fruit, the Esther comes first, and then Baruch Hashem, gesund to Yidden, we could go right to the main dish, right? So don't give me this cheshbon. Ich has Vorspeis to machen a Vorspeis. You're eating Vorspeis because that's how it was put down in front of you. So get in the stool and pink to say that you know what they say. The waiter was coming over to someone, meat or chicken. He said, I say the lamashana. You know what that means? They got to Biden and I'll be just fine. Right? So, Kitza, we're not exactly what we eat first to open up our muggin, to famachan the muggin. We eat whatever comes to us. We're talking about Pashto Yidden, Balitayvis, to get in the Shon. So how, because some Zalman says like this, how can you tell me it's the Oyer Taivasai, it's a Chelik of the SEUDAH? It's not. It's a thing for itself. And therefore, you don't, you make a bracha.
What, you telling me the Metzias has changed since the time of Chazal?
Go look, go see. Do you ever saw someone?
Chazal had such a thing.
So I asked you, did you ever see someone say, no, I can't eat meat, I first have to have the fruit to open up my stomach?
What about hors d'oeuvres?
Who?
Hors d'oeuvres are things. They're designed legayer taivas achil. They're stated in Chazal.
You ever had a problem with someone walking into a restaurant and saying, "Shulix, give me the hors d'oeuvres"?
No.
Because I can't eat the meat that I'm paying $200 for.
People do drink yayin before to be gayer taivas achil.
That's if a guy ate already so much. I looked You ever had someone walk in hungry?
I understand, but once
You ever had someone walk into
Chazal said to God, that.
No, see, you ever had someone walk into a bris and said, "Shulix, I can't eat a bagel now, and first I need the fruits."
No, but obviously we understand the Metzias Shaila. Problem is,
I'm not so ice cheshbon. I don't know. I eat what's in front of me. You may be ice cheshbon to eat. I'm not so ice cheshbon. I get the soup. I eat the soup. It's a chicken. I'm not so.
aber wir sind Chazal Yidden.
I'm sure it does.
Wir sind Chazal Yidden. Chazal steht zu da, sagt das.
I'm saying, but this one, it's not me talking. Zalman, everyone else said this. Chaim ben Shaimek said, no, this is to be Ma'or Taivas HaMeichel. So Mamela, Chashiv Kibbal Machem Zasuda V'Einem Mevarach. And the asked to Abdullah Feinstein. And he said also, L'chayra, you could be Mekel on this man Chazal. Obviously, that's what they did. That's what you're doing also. Other Paiskim, who held that Avada not. Avada don't do this. Avada you make a bracha. So this is a big machlokes. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right.
It is, but soup is not amazing? Of course it is.
No, but I'm saying, but the exam, it's with the vart is because part of
What do you mean? People eat soup because they want the soup. I don't know.
No, but he's saying that's considered part of it. He's asking a question that l'chayra, this is a course of the meal. If it's dessert, that means you're trying to be mechalik this. Rabbi Chapa trying to be mechalik like this. Let me say what he's saying. He's saying like this. He's saying if it's dessert, so then okay, dessert, machman bracha. But if I'm starting with a fruit cup, that means I'm having, if someone asks you afterwards, you come to shul and they say, no, how many courses did your wife give you this Yom Tov? So you go, it's the chalein, you don't say it out loud. The fruit cup, the liver, the fish, and the chocolate. 5 courses, right? You don't say that, you don't not count the fruit cup, that means it's a course of the meal. So therefore, he's timing, forget this, homach like this, this is a chelik in a course of the meal. The meal you don't make a bracha. Oh, so I have a question for you, Rabbi Chapa. You're probably right. You're probably not you're not about that. Today, try to not give your children, but you not dessert. They'll mon that more than they'll mon the main dish. Right? Dessert became the meal itself. No, I'm just trying to say yeah, okay. I hear Rabbi Chapa saying a very glatt svara. Now, l'chayah today, Kapanim, not with maskim, not every day. Yantif, that's part of your courses. And not only that, sometimes, let's say Shabbos, let's say a fish, eggs, and challah, 3 courses, let's say. And Yantif, one of the courses, one of those 3 are going to be fruit cup. It'll be fruit cup, potato, and meat. Right? So you see that might be one of your courses, and he's putting up a very valid timer, so therefore, maybe you shouldn't make a bracha. I hear what you're saying. You're saying a very glatt azar. So now, let me tell you what Ramesh Steinbach says. Ramesh Steinbach says, since it's a suffix, what should you do? So it's Pashta Eitzah. What do you think? No, you know, that's
It's
talking
not,
about
not real world.
That's not a real world. You can't stop it. Before you wash, you make the bracha. You eat everything. You make kiddush, you make the bracha. Again,
And what bracha were you making it? Eights?
Right.
On what?
On the fruit.
So you eat it before you wash.
Eat it before you wash. No, you don't have to make enough bracha because you're eating it for you.
Why is it a bracha and tzricha if you were pat to taki yaitze?
No, because you're not going to get a bracha and tzricha because over here the mice it's machlekes. The mice then that they have machlekes.
So anything that's yotzim this fake is not ein tzricha.
No, it's not a tzricha, especially on Shabbos. Like we always say over the Megadim says, we don't pass, we don't. The Megadim says on Shabbos there's never such a thing as bracha and tzricha. Why?
May brachas.
May brachas.
Before you eat on Shabbos.
Before you make kiddush, mach kiddush, please.
Before you make kiddush.
No, not before kiddush. Make kiddush. You can't make a bracha before you make kiddush. Make kiddush.
And eat fruit.
Take a little fruit, a little piece of apple. Go wash.
It sounds like it's hard, but it's easier than eating challah with the fruit.
I don't know.
It is.
And that's not have 6 things kiddush.
No, I'm not walking around. I go ahead. I'm not saying to do this, not to do this. I'm just telling you. Moshe Steinbach writes it in 3 tshuvas.
Yeah.
Chelik Aleph Siman Kuf Ayin Zayin, Chelik Gimel Samach Tes, Chelik Hey Samach Gimel. 3 tshuvas.
Yeah.
The sefer of the same bracha. You know what the same bracha is?
No. Yeah.
No. Rabbi Badna.
I'm going to call you back.
He has the same bracha. He writes that that's what you should do also. So he's already an English rabbi, and he writes that that's what you should do. You want to know? Say what I do personally. I would not tell this avek in the house. Okay, I do mach brachas now. You can't start doing new things. Myself, I try to do that.
You try to make an eight?
Yeah, I make.
So you have to have a lot of fruit around at all times.
I don't make a tumble. That's for sure.
But I'm saying, who said your wife serves fruit couple ways before a meal?
If I see that it's coming out, Yontif is normally on the table already. In the beginning,
Everybody eats fruit as the first course in Yontif?
No, not everybody. I don't know. Sometimes my wife does that. I have no idea. Huh? Oh, you do this? What you do is? This is not. Well, we're in it together.
But the younger light don't serve fruit cups anymore. It's not in style. Not in style, no. It's like you have to go nostalgia for that.
You don't have fruit in the beginning of the Yontif?
No, much fancier stuff now.
Okay, well, my wife didn't get there yet. But I'm saying, Akapanim, that's what I know. There's a lot of times this one was fine. I'm not doing it at night, I'm doing it in the day. Yeah, okay, fine. Akapanim, so therefore, that's a pashta eitzah. If you don't, I would not tell you to make a bracha. Because I hold very stark of a Trappist svara that today, the people that eat it are l'chaya lahedya, not like Chaim Pechasham, Del Feinstein, Mr. Krelitz. The people that eat it are not going ahead, and it's a course. It's a course. If you don't have dessert, as much as you say dessert's a chelik of the SEUDAH, if you're full, you're not going to eat it. This you're eating. It's part of the SEUDAH like everything else. And therefore, I would tell you it's not suffix. I would not tell you to make a bracha.
Did Moshe have Pascha on this?
Moshe? No. Not sure Moshe.
How come they never Pascha on this?
But David said not to.
Not to make a bracha.
Yeah. So therefore, that's what I would tell you. Now, okay, there's no, we're going to get to it. Let's just go quick through Lida. I see we don't have, because this is very important to know. We know that there's a machlekes. Ice cream, you make a bracha, you don't make a bracha. What do? I can imagine that most people make a bracha. That's what I would think. No?
No.
Okay, fine. So let's try to understand the 2 shittas. Let's try to understand briefly what the 2 days, and this is like this. L'chayra, the Shulchan Aruch says very clearly in Simcha Kuf Ayin Zayin Sif Aleph that you want to bring it up. Simcha Kuf Ayin Zayin Sif Aleph. The Einim v'Anavim. A little higher on the next page. Yeah, one before. Yeah. Okay. Dvam haba Mesach HaSeudah. Let's skip a little bit. Ve'im heim dvam, the 3rd line to the bottom. Ve'im heim dvam shaloi machmas HaSeudah. Da'ainu she'en derech l'kvay HaSeudah aleim alafas memes haPascha going to Einim v'Anavim v'chol minei peiros im oichel oisam b'loi pas tu'unim bracha l'fneim. The bichas hamaitzi einoi patrasan the lav me'ikas SEUDAH. It's not the SEUDAH. Dessert, ice cream is not make a SEUDAH. Don't make a bracha. You don't need a bracha afterwards. Sorry, make a bracha. You don't need a bracha afterwards, but a bracha lefanav you would need, unless what? Yeah. Okay. Fine. Okay. We'll get there. So what are you going to say? Ice cream is considered like a mashka. It's frozen mashka. No. What do we know about mashka? We know the Shulchan Aruch writes in Siman Kuf Ayin Daled Siv Zayin. If you drink water, sham mashka teichat SEUDAH, you don't make a bracha because that's considered v'amabah machmas SEUDAH. So if so, this is a mashka. A mashka, you don't make a bracha teichat SEUDAH. It's kind of frozen, but it's a regular mashka. That's a valid point. So we have a Shulchan Aruch in Kuf Ayin Zayin that tells us something which is not the ikka SEUDAH, something which is not a chelik of the SEUDAH. God is giving a mashal of tein of anavim, but it's not dafka tein of anavim. Anything that's not part of the SEUDAH, it's a dessert, you make a bracha. We have another tzad to say, maybe it's like mashka. Mashka, you don't make a bracha. The difference is that the Mishabur and Kufay and Dalit, Sifkat and Lamates brings that there are mashkayas that you do have to make a bracha on. Something which is not V'amabah Machmas SEUDAH L'mashal. Kishashaysin Yayin Saraf Teicha SEUDAH, the tzarech levarach. Why? Because you're not eating it, you're not drinking machmas tzimai and achila k'sham mashkin. You're drinking it for a thing for itself. Kedei lechazik is alein. Why today we don't make a bracha on schnapps is a different reason. But Akapanim, he says kedei lechazik alein, therefore you don't make a bracha. So now, when you're eating this ice cream, seich HaSEUDAH, lacha HaSEUDAH, you should make a bracha because even if it's mashka, but such a mashka, you make a bracha. So, Shlomo Zalman paskins that if you eat it seif HaSEUDAH, it's pashut that you make a bracha. Yankel Fisher says it's pashut that you make a bracha. Chaim Pechasham, Mr. Kirelis, the Shevet HaLevi, all hold that you make a bracha. Who holds you don't make a bracha? Moshe brought down in a few places. Moshe held.
By the way, this is ice cream. Ice is everything. Anything that's called ice in it.
Oh, so it's not. So one second. So the shot is like this. What's the pshat in a Moshe? Even if you say it's a mashka, like we just said, they say over for a Moshe because it's a mashka. Even if it's a mashka, but it's a mashka that's not born teichat SEUDAH. It's a mashka lacha SEUDAH. It's there just for kinuach, not for. It's there just for tainik. So what? So why should you make a bracha? I don't care. What's the svar? So they asked this to David Feinstein. What's the pshat in your father's psak? Why should it be different than yayin saraf? Yayin saraf is a mashka, and you make a bracha. Even teichat SEUDAH. That means not every mashka don't you make a bracha. It's not like gzeis hakosim that a mashka you don't make a bracha.
Everybody holds like this Magen Avraham. It's halacha psuka. You make everybody passing this.
Why today? Today's different. Whatever. But
why?
No, because it's ungenom that you can drink the yayin saraf. It is there to help you. So therefore, whatever. But it's there to get down the food. Therefore, you won't make a bracha. But yeah, you're right. We're not, okay, well, maybe we'll do that later on. Yeah, but okay. So now, so they asked us to have David Feinstein, what's the pshat in your father's psak? So he said as follows. He said that eating ice cream, the seif HaSEUDAH, does just like mashka does teichat SEUDAH. So he said like this. He said, very interesting. People are walking around with a Moshe psak. He said, don't walk around with that psak. He says, you have to know what the tachlis of this ice cream is. If the tachlis of this ice cream is machmas achila, then the Moshe held, you don't make a bracha. But if your tachlis is not machmas achila, for the kinuach, about the Moshe would agree.
You have to define what machmas achila means now. So back to where we started. What does that mean?
No. If the pshat is like you're trying to get down the food, and it's like it helps you like appetize in the beginning, so you have appetize at the end. Yeah. But if the pshat is no, you're eating dessert now. Kinuach ba'alma.
So even a Moshe b'mod, you don't make a bracha?
Then you would make a bracha.
You would? That's it.
Again, the Moshe holds you don't make a bracha.
Right.
So we said, what's the pshat? So if David finds he said the pshat is because the Moshe held it works the same way drinks teichat SEUDAH works. And drink teichat SEUDAH, you drink a cup of water teichat SEUDAH, you don't make a bracha. So told me you don't make a bracha. But if that's not your kavanah in it, your kavanah is kinuach, even the Moshe would hold you make a bracha.
So aren't desserts kinuach?
Yeah. That's what he's saying. And Moshe wasn't about taivas. He ate it with the tachlis of his ice cream was like a drink. Us, we don't have that tachlis. Therefore, David held that a Moshe would agree. So if you're walking around with your Moshe in your pocket, you're making a big mistake.
Is it fair to say that whatever you serve at a Shabbos party for the kids, you make a bracha on at the end of the SEUDAH?
Well, we're not up to the Shabbos party yet.
No, he's bringing up a good nakud. He's trying to be madam. That means if your kids are masking to have for Shabbos party, that means it's not. If you give your kids cake for Shabbos party, they'll throw a replica in your face. If you have to give them nash, you have to give them something that's geschmack. You give them ices, you give them ice cream, then they'll take it. Cake is not going to go over well. What's the shot? Because cake is a sphere. They want tainu. They want something. That's right.
So that's a fair statement.
But that's pretty good. I wouldn't say that as a lochal ma'isa, but yes. So
the ma'isa the minhag is to make a bracha on ice cream. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
And ices.
Yes. I'll tell you, the Rivas Ephraim writes that you should be mechad b'dich samaitzi to pat to that. To pat to the ice cream and you don't make a bracha.
Who does that?
This is a chiddush nifla. What?
That's very shver zach.
Very shver zach, and that's the gay the mezainis, which we don't have time for.
No, we do have time. We're going to go 5 minutes over today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So 1 second. So let me just finish with ice cream. Again, so the way we're saying it, we're saying that it doesn't make a difference. Ice cream, ices, the maise, because even if you're going to give it a din as a mashka is not exeis hakotz if you don't make a bracha. Mashka is also a tzad you make a bracha. Therefore, since there's a tzad you make a bracha on mashka, therefore, this is the worst type of mashka you can get. The yizach should make a bracha. It's just for kinuach. It's not there to be misanig in the SEUDAH. It's not there chelik in the SEUDAH, and therefore you would make a bracha. Therefore, halacha l'maisa, I would tell you to make a bracha on ice cream. Sweetener.
No.
Clean
up. The word kinuach means to clean up. It's cleaning up the heaviness of the previous main course. The kaneach means to clean up. Kinuach the garbage.
That's in Hebrew. It's like kinuach v'adacha. When you eat milk between milk and fleishiks, you need kinuach v'adacha.
Right.
What does it mean? Cleaning out your teeth and washing out your teeth.
Cleaning. It means cleaning.
Right.
It's cleaning your palate. That's what it is.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So therefore, so we'll make this a common end. So now, when we're dealing with cake, mezainis seifa SEUDAH, so most people do not make a bracha, we said, on cake. And the reason for that is because it's pasab b'kisnin. What does it mean it's pasab b'kisnin? We're going to say a kitzah on pasab b'kisnin. Pasab b'kisnin means that there's a tzad, it's pas. We had 3 shittas in what's called pasab b'kisnin. Now, every cake, most cakes, 95% of the cakes, only have 2 out of the 3 or 1 out of the 3. So it's a machlokes. Since it's a machlokes, it might be passed. The other 2 days hold as pass. So if this cake, we make a mezainis in it. That's what we pass in. Because even if you have one opinion. But since there's a tzad that it's real pass, it's a you don't make a bracha. Because I had amaitzi. Safek brachas la'akal. Did I explain myself?
Everybody get that?
Yeah? Again, every cake you eat has a tzad pass. We make a mezainis. That's the halacha. But there's 3 opinions on what pasab b'kisnin is. So it might be one of them. So good, that's why you make a mezainis. But the other
maybe it's passed. Yeah.
Maybe it's passed. Now, if you remember, we had a whole kiveng on that. There's a whole shmuz on this that maybe everyone agrees to another. That makes problems. But akapanim, remember we had a whole.
We discussed that length.
Yeah. So now, but akapanim, you have such a tzad. So therefore, you won't make a bracha. But when I have a cake that has all 3 gedarim and pasab b'kisnin, then I've you make a bracha mezainis. You have a mashal to that? I have a mashal to that. Apple pie. Apple pie is crusty. I'm not talking about the soft one. You have it crust. It's made out of roid Paris, and it has apples in it. On apple pie, I make a mezainis without a shayla. Now it's very interesting. Apple pie sometimes can be served as part of the main dish. You know what I'm talking about? Sanayas by you, apple pie. You know what I'm talking about with apple pie, right? I'm not talking about I'm talking about the flaky apple pie, not the strudel. Okay, strudel.
A very common dessert.
Right. So if so, that's crusty. That has a filling to it, and that has all 3 gedarim and pasab b'kisnin. It's no gzeis hakotz mezainis. You're not making a SEUDAH. But if it's a regular cake, a 7-layer cake, or any cake, the marble cake, whatever it is, that's a suffix pass. Therefore, you won't make a bracha. Now, so what's the pshat? Some people say, no, I make a bracha on cake also. Because they hold that you're not looking to get yourself full on cake. It's like, had you there to be a sweetener for you. It's like you did, get a little piece of cake. You're full like anything. Why are you eating cake for? Maybe you eat challah. Maybe you eat challah. Maybe you eat challah now if you're hungry. Obviously, you're not hungry, right? The pshat is that you did it's a sweet cake. It's a good geschmacke, marble cake.
That's the minhag, yeah.
So therefore, that's why Avram Elangel.
You have to make a bracha.
Make a bracha. Mazaynus also.
Who holds that way? Who holds that way?
Avram Elangel like that. Oh, who else? There's other places. I'm not going to go to that.
And how did they get around the HBrachos problem of Chassid B'Kislev?
Because the end of the day is most of us. It's not such a sweet. If you want something sweet, you'll have a piece of nash. But Avram Elangel, that was his musik sweet. Was a sweet cake. By us, all they got further than that. Baruch Hashem, and the Baruch Hashem, not Baruch Hashem. And by us, if you want something sweet, you're going to go into the kitchen and.
But maybe it's pas, because maybe it's pas.
That's what I'm saying. So he said, even if it's pas, but it's so not machmas SEUDAH that it's such a sweetener that you make him a
Wow.
Yeah, that was his chiddush. But again, what we have to know is that it's something which is not, which normal you're not making mezainis. It's not because there's no din mezainis not making SEUDAH. It's because it's a selfic pass. When it's a vaday not pass, you need a super snack. Because vaday no pass, why do you make a bracha? No tzad not. The shaila is that they go like this. The meiste minhag is not to make, and there's eitzes for it, but we're not going to go through it now. Okay, let's just make a quick sikum on
everything.
Everything. Okay, so like this. So we discussed eating. We discussed about shalashudis. When a person is sitting down to eat challah and a fruit, does he make a bracha on that fruit? Even though the mechaber and Simon Kufa and Zion Siv Gimel had a machlokes, we shtel to the Mishabur and Simon Reish Ches, and that explained that when something is so clear that is the ikasuda by shkedim for chayla, you do not make a bracha. Therefore, we paskin the shalashudis. If you're eating challah and fruit, even if you're not eating the challah together with the fruit, you would not make a bracha on the fruit. That was one chiddush we said. We said if you're eating a fruit cup in the beginning of the SEUDAH, so over there we had a machlokes hapaiskim, and we said lemaisa you don't make a bracha. The minhag is not to make a bracha. The best dates is that you after kiddush you'll take a little bite of this fruit or a little bite of this adama, and you'll make a bracha on that, and it'll pati you for the whole SEUDAH.
You have to have kavanah specific.
It's automatic. That's what you're doing. We spoke about ice cream, and we said we know it's you do it the machlokes and Moshe and others. If you make a bracha on ice cream, seifat SEUDAH. We came out that even we said b'shem of David Feinstein that if you're eating it lahedi for kinuach, even Rav Moshe would hold that you do make a bracha. Why? Because the same way we see sometimes mashketech SEUDAH makes a bracha, so it's not just a paita and everything. A mitzi doesn't pati on everything. Therefore, you would make a bracha on that also. And last but not least, we discussed eating a piece of cake, seifat SEUDAH, and we said the reason why the other doesn't make mezainis is only because it's a selfic pass. But kol's man, it's not a selfic pass. L'chol hadeis, it's a pass above a kisnin. You would make a mezainis, and the only type that we came out maybe is apple pie. If you have something else, can zayin. But like upon him, that's that, and therefore the minhag is normally by cake, not to make a bracha, but an apple pie that has all chol hadeis, pass above a kisnin, then you should go ahead and make a bracha. No, if it's a SEUDAH, you don't make a bracha. Sorry, only if it's sefer SEUDAH. Okay.